back, everyone. Krus'n Outdoors here. Right now, we're gonna do a freshman level course, a 101 course on how to shoot your first handgun. It is a thing for first timers that can cause a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, a lot of fear. And hopefully this video can alleviate some of that for you. Whether you're going out with a friend, by the way, 99% of gun owners are extremely responsible and diligent about safety. I highly recommend going with somebody for your first time. Otherwise, if you go to a gun range, boy, you're in good hands there too. I'm actually going to be making a video coming up on first time at a gun range and what to expect, so it's less scary. I remember when I took Billy on a date once. That was really fun. Anyways, let's have some fun and get started with our 101 how to shoot a handgun video. Please come around here, beautiful. Guys, first things first, we're gonna go over safety. This gun needs to be made sure, first and foremost, that it is unloaded. Secondly, well, even more important, is that you're aware of your complete surroundings. Where are the people around you? Where are the vehicles around you? Where are the animals around you? Okay? Hopefully your first time you're in a gun range that they have explained to you that this is your little area and everything's very controlled. Okay, first things first, you're gonna grab your firearm. Safety on. You might be saying to yourself, how do I know that? Well, on a handgun like this, your magazine is not in. So this is an empty magazine. It is flushed to the back, to the bottom, and it is out, okay? You can literally see down the gun. There is no magazine in. There is no bullet next to the barrel to go down that a firing pin could hit. So with a clean, empty gun, you can release the slide and your gun is just as is, like it was coming out of a box. Next thing you're gonna wanna do is grab your ammunition. By the way, 511, something that you guys might wanna keep in mind is taking these bags that you guys have and selling them a la carte on your website. I think it would be a big hit for your group. The reason I love it is because if you're at an outdoor situation, all the debris that can come on into your ammunition and dirty it up actually falls through on something like this. It is a wonderful bag. It makes loading your firearms, especially the more you do it, that much faster. So grab a couple shells. And actually for your first time, I recommend just grabbing one. The slide of the gun goes like this. There's only one way it can go in. Your bullet is gonna face out, where it's gonna shoot. This little pin gets hit and the bullet goes this way. So you're gonna load your ammunition for the way that it's gonna go. Whoops. There's only one way to put it in. You just kind of slide it under these little things here, but that's something that you guys can get used to at a different time. You can always push your thumb and get your ammunition out if you're having a hard time or you're nervous or something like that, or you can use a speed loader. This is not exactly a 101 thing, so anyways. Next thing you're gonna wanna do is grab your gun and know how to hold it properly. Now, first things first, safety's on. You're gonna wanna get what's called a good purchase on the gun, and that's putting this backing of the gun here next to the back strap or the grip in the webbing of your hand. Next, you're gonna lower your fingers, and most importantly is what's called trigger discipline. Your trigger finger is gonna be going down the stock of the gun, not on the trigger, not over here, anywhere that it could slip and accidentally pull that trigger. Up here, safe and secure, firm. Next, coming around, I haven't knocked the safety. I've got my fingers where they need to be, and I got good purchase on the gun, and my palm is where it's gonna be. I'm gonna take this section of my palm right here, and I'm gonna pair it up with this section of my palm right here. Before we get to that, I also thought of one thing. How do I know if my safety's on? Well, right now, I have confirmed that the gun is loaded, it does not have a magazine. Go ahead and point it somewhere safe and pull the trigger. I can't pull the trigger right now. If I were to lower this, click, see how it clicked? I can then pull the trigger. Now I know that when this is down, the safety is off and the firearm will shoot when loaded. So back up, gun is not loaded, Little redundancy, but when you're dealing with firearms, there's no such thing as redundancy. Overcheck, overcheck, overcheck. Safety for you and those around you is the most important thing. Grab your firearm, purchase, trigger discipline, coming on around, palm right here, bottom side of your palm. Gonna pair up right flush with this. Thumb, also like your trigger discipline, going down the barrel. All of these are gonna aim down where you're going to be firing. Okay, now I'm gonna bring it on up to my dominant eye, which you will have to take time to learn. Sandra, if you could please put that camera right in front of my face right here so I can also see how this is going. Perfect, sweetheart. All right, you're gonna wanna get that front trigger, or the front sight, excuse me, right in the middle of the back sights there. And you're also gonna wanna have it flush vertically as well. So this is not flush. That is not flush. Right about there, that's flush. And a little bit in the center, that would make a good shot. You're then making sure that there's everybody around you is safe. Animals are safe. Take your safety off. The little 102 lesson is breathing in slowly. When you're ready, put your finger on the trigger, breathe out slowly, and on your way out, pull the trigger. Now, for a first timer, you've got this still in the gun. Now, when you fired that handgun, it has come back on a handgun like this, because this is a semi-automatic. The grain has pushed this slide back and it is loaded. The next bullet in there just goes back and forward, lowers the next. Oh, this is a little weird right now because of my gun, but next one is loaded. So take a second your first time. Okay, safety's on. Put the safety back on. Empty your clip. Okay, double check using either the serrations or what have you, however you're strong enough, that the gun isn't loaded. Set it down and kind of just reflect on everything that happened. Next time you do it, and in most sports, you're going to want to limit your variables, especially when you get into competition settings and stuff like that. But take a second, gather yourself. Maybe have a moment where you can just practice some steady breathing and stuff like that and maintain composure. Regain your composure if it's your first time as well. Now, on some of these firearms, you are going to have what's called a red dot. Coming back around, camera lady, on your firearm here, you're going to want to keep your red dot right in front of my face there, please. Thank you. Red dot right in the middle of your screen, and then you're also going to want to keep it still between those two white lines. So right about there. It's kind of hard when I'm holding a gun and she's holding the camera, but right about there would be a good shot. Anyways. Now also on some of these firearms, you will not have a safety. Most do, some don't. On this particular one, it has no safety. When there is a bullet loaded into your chamber, it will fire. That is when trigger discipline is the utmost importance. Setting your firearm back down. Guys, I think that is a great start to a 101 level class of handguns. Please feel free to comment in the section below. If you have any more questions for first timers, once again, I'm going to go to that range and do what to expect your first time at a range. I'm just getting kind of rights going on that right now. And just thanks for chiming in. More fun videos to come, and thanks for choosing Krus'n Outdoors.